from a galaxy far, far away.
And a bookshelf straight out of the 90s.
From Thrawn to Dantooine
And everything in between. This is Legends Lookback.
Every now and then, something crazy comes up in the behind-the-scenes Utini staff chat, and a message from Rick, our producer, that says, just out of the blue, it wasn't like, hey, good morning, team. How's everybody doing today? Hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. It was just like out of the blue, like clearly a toilet thought for Rick, right? And he says, hey, by the way, did I ever tell you guys about how when my wife and I went to Europe in 2016, we had to draft up our wills, and Jared, you're in the will? And I turned to my wife and I said, look at this. Rick says I'm in his will. And she said, what? And then I just typed all caps, what? To which he did not respond. So right here, live on the air, we're demanding an answer from Rick. What the heck is this about?
All right. So 2 things. First of all, it was a shower thought, not a toilet thought. Okay. Just want to clear that. Second of all, I turned 30 this week. Monday was my birthday. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Thank you. And
happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Rick.
Thank you. Yes. I'm turning a new generation or not generation, a new decade.
Already.
Yeah, generation. And new decade. And so, been thinking about death a lot, and the continual march we're all on toward that final fate. And yeah, I was thinking about my will and life, and I was like, I think I made a will. And it's been years. Like, I didn't have kids when I made that will. So like, there's so much that's changed. But yeah, we went to Europe 2016, and we were really concerned, especially with where our dogs would go. And so we made a will primarily for our dogs. But Jared, do you have any guess as to why you're in my will?
Okay. We were friends from college. You could will me like your like commentaries, because like who else would want them? What would be more fun would be if you had willed me your Star Wars book collection. However, if you willed me your Star Wars book collection, I'm sorry, buddy, I'm hiring a bounty hunter.
Okay, yeah, good guess. So we're looking at our stuff. I did give my ministry books collections to somebody else. You didn't get that. And
Okay.
I did buy a vehicle from you, and so that was a fair guess too. But no,
Let's not talk about that.
Yep. But yeah, so in 2016, I don't think was UTN born then.
I think it was 2017. Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So there was no UTN. I did not know a single other soul in the world that cared about Star Wars, especially into the books. And so I was like, I got a decent collection, probably had like 40 books then. I was like, I just don't want these going nowhere. Jared he's my buddy. He helped me figure out what to read. I want to make sure Jared gets my Star Wars books. And so, yeah, you were getting my Star Wars books, buddy.
Yes.
Not that it was much, but now, since I know you so much better since we've been doing the show together, I am going to will you all of my Star Trek collection so that you'll finally watch a show and learn to appreciate Star Trek. And I'm going to make sure my Star Wars collection goes to the corporate Utini. Maybe it could be like a Patreon perk or something, get included in the wills.
Oh my goodness. That's so morbid.
Yeah. Good times.
Hey, Rick,
good times.
the next time you're sitting on your toilet writing your will, I'd love for you to put me in for that helmet of yours.
Nice. I will be
That is
sure.
a dope helmet.
I love how we're calling dibs on my stuff when I die. This is fun.
That could be a whole episode, like bid on our, like we could
Yeah.
predict each other's deaths. Like how am I gonna go?
Oh man.
Maybe
That's
not.
going a different direction.
Hopefully
That's fine.
nobody goes tonight.
Happy holidays, everybody.
On this episode of Legends Lookback, Rick's death will not be a Patreon goal, but if you are one of our patrons, we're glad to have you. If you're not, what are you doing? And also, welcome. Let's start the show. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Legends Lookback, proudly part of the Utini Podcast Network, fresh off of our Thanksgiving break hiatus, a Star Wars books podcast where you can strap a Star Wars books. Let's try this again. Take it. Sometimes you just got to re-roll. A Star Wars books podcast you can strap to your back like the salamis and heavyweights. where we celebrate our rich EU history as well as dive into lesser-known Star Wars classics. I'm your host, Jared Mays, and I'm joined tonight just right under the radar there. We were like, is he going to be here? Is he not going to be here? And he showed up with a Christmas tree. Freddie C.
That's what I was doing the whole pre-show, was trying to fix this thing up, making it look. I'm just kidding. I didn't do any of that. But yeah, I have a little thing to show you that's on these trees. I'm not sure if you can see them now, but I'm gonna save it. I know we've got an acquisition thing coming up, so I'm gonna wait. It's gonna be
I've
fantastic,
got something too,
though.
Freddie. What if we have the same thing? That would be fun.
That would be crazy.
We might. Also, who probably has a Christmas tree somewhere, but not at his church building where he's at tonight. Our producer, Rick Grace, who's not dead.
I'm alive. Chipmunks, download. Yeah. All right. So
the biggest heavyweights fan in the galaxy.
I love it, man, all the time. But yeah, glad to be here. Glad to be alive. Isn't life great? I love it. I'm here.
You know who else is here and is not just here alone, but with her unborn child who was announced live on Legends Lookback. Emily Dayback. How are you, Emily?
Doing well. Baby is sleeping. Thank goodness. This kid is kicking the ever living daylights out of me, and I'm concerned. We're not even supposed to be feeling him or her yet, but it's definitely pulverizing, tenderizing me from the inside out.
That's an image right there.
It's an entirely different experience, I can assure you.
You know who else likes to pulverize people from the inside out? Our special guest for tonight, Andrew Bell.
Still trying to
processing too.
That one. Yeah. Sorry. Oh, wait, hold on.
He doesn't have a lower third, so he wrote his name on cardboard for our audio listeners. It looks like, if you're trying to picture this and you're listening later on audio, picture the homeless person standing at the intersection asking for money. That's what Andrew looked like right there.
A little bit
without the needle too.
Well, I was jabbed by a needle a lot recently.
Oh, that's right.
Feel great,
including the needles.
Yes, including the needles.
Well, glad to have you here, Andrew. This is a fun, stupid idea. Might we call it an Eric's stupid game? But I think it was Emily's idea, so we'll call it Emily's stupid game. We are going to be playing a, no offense, we'll be playing a fun, silly, nonsensical holiday game tonight on this ever festive episode. It's just Freddie's Christmas tree over there. I've got one, but you can't see it. So, Freddie's tree is bringing all the Christmas feels up in here. However, before we get to that, we had to have a special guest to join us for this very special episode. And we've got some fun things to show off. It's officially the holiday season, which means in my family, hard moratorium on buying any gifts for yourself. So I had to sneak in some last minute things under the deadline before I was no longer allowed to do that. You guys do the same thing?
Yes.
I'm very, very excited to show these off. Andrew's got something to show off that's like literally attached to his body. So
is it on his butt cheek?
Cool.
We don't know.
We might find out soon.
Time to figure out how strict those YouTube ratings
I already checked the not for kids option, so we should be safe.
All right, good deal. All right, here we
I'll show off mine, which is quite safe, and then give Andrew time to queue up his. I picked this up in a local used bookstore.
Are we still talking about butt cheeks? I'm really confused.
Well, maybe. This is Zorba the Hutt's Revenge.
Nice.
And it has the most gloriously bearded Hutt that ever graced a Star Wars book. I don't know the name of this Hutt. Probably Zorba. I mean, I guess it's right there on the cover. Is this the most beautiful cover ever in the history of Legends?
It's pretty nice.
It's Freddie, isn't this the heavy hitter? What's his name? The guy that does all the covers.
Let's see, who was that one? That was that Hutt's Gambit? What book was that?
Zorba the Hutt's Revenge.
Zorba the Hutt's Revenge. I don't know who's
the guy that does all the. I'm blanking on his name.
I can't remember right now. Let me see.
Not Dave Dorman. I'm so close. Drew Struzan. Isn't it a Drew Struzan cover?
I'm not entirely sure.
I think it is. Well, anyway, when will I ever read this book? I have no idea, but I'm going to go ahead and say out on a limb, this might be one of the most beautiful covers in the history of Legends.
It's really nice.
Fight me. But please don't fight me, Andrew, because you're a cop. What do you have to show off, Andrew?
I have to show off. Oh, that's not showing off. That's showing
You're
off half of
close.
it.
Keep rotating.
Look, it's new, so I'm still working on how I show it off.
Dang, I love that.
There we go. Booyah.
Oh, beautiful.
Look at us go.
Nice.
Yeah, just
I'm
try to
digging that.
clothesline somebody.
So-
There it is.
So I've got, and I know this is a Legends podcast. But excuse me for a moment while I talk about canon. Anyways, this is the New Republic logo with an Alphabet Squadron inspired background, and then the 5 ships from Alphabet Squadron.
It is glorious.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It takes my idea, which is just the Rebel insignia, and it
Mhm.
takes it to a 12.
Yeah. Well, a word of advice: if you decide to go with that, find anywhere other than your inner forearm to put it on your body, because that hurt a lot.
How about ribs? I've heard ribs are a good place.
I wouldn't know about that, but I know this one
Jose
definitely
just
didn't
got
feel
a rib
great.
tattoo and said it was terrible. You know who else doesn't have a rib tattoo? Rick, do you have any acquisitions?
Sure. So with the birthday mentioned, hold on, time out. Ahsoka, are we counting her as Legends?
Yes, she is a Legends character.
Cool. This is probably not, but this is an Ahsoka hat. That's pretty sweet. I think it's actually the
Ooh.
Clone Force from the last Clone Wars
man, I like that.
season, but I thought it was pretty sick. So this
That
is
is
like a birthday present, and
Rick is the
Also-
king of Star Wars hats. The absolute
I love
king.
them. I love them. And then a Boba Fett shirt. Can you see this?
Oh, now that's Legends right there.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
from
totally.
I love
the old
that.
school Marvel series.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
So that's fair game. And then oh gosh, my mic or my headphones. Sorry.
You
And
got this,
then
Rick.
a Clone Wars shirt with Ahsoka on it as well. So
Hmm.
I got a little book, but I forgot to grab it. It's over at home, so I don't have it with me. But I found a little junior Clone Wars graphic novel for like less than $1. So yay thrifts. And after our last episode, I think it was our last episode.
Yeah, free stuff.
I checked and found a library that I can have access to and got me a library card and got some Star Wars Kindle books. So I'm living
Look at
life
you,
right
Rick.
now. I'm ready to go.
Awesome. Yeah, that was Legends Lookback episode 69.
Yeah.
And apparently, you know, Andrew went to go and fetch your missing Star Wars book.
I guess.
I was just looking at the close up of Zorba the Hutt's Revenge, and that is definitely Drew Struzan's art for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Only
I
took
just
us like
looked it
5
up.
minutes to arrive at that.
Yeah. The interior illustrations, because there's interior illustrations.
What?
Believe it or not, his last name is Kessel. His name's Carl
There's
Kessel.
interior
Oh,
illustrations.
I love that.
No
Yeah.
way. We're about to discover this live on the air. I had not yet opened this, Freddie. Oh, there's a hut doing this angry fist thing. And the inside cover is Orba the
Show
Hut. I gotta get this up to the camera. What an angry boy.
Oh man.
He clearly
so mad.
I think I
not
have
have his-
a family member that has a resemblance there, but
It's got some
Ooh.
strong get off my Tatooine vibes to it.
Yeah.
Definitely. Oh my!
Definitely.
I know what I'm doing for the rest of the episode. I'm just looking through the pictures here. Emily, you, however, while I try not to get too distracted, have some kind of acquisition. What you got?
I do. Okay. So my family went to Legoland. We were in San Diego last week for Thanksgiving. And the night before, we're like, hey, let's do Legoland. And so my brother went to he got something really cool. I think he got Boba Fett. But he came back and he got me this Ahsoka little like mini set with
Oh,
Maul and
beautiful.
Ahsoka. And it's just very precious to me because, as you know, I have very few Star Wars possessions. So each one of them has like its own little place. So very, very excited. Emma Grace, my daughter, has been like very much into playing with the little Lego dolls. So we're going to have lots of duels with this in the future, I can tell.
What is Legoland?
What?
What is Legoland?
My goodness, Legoland.
Is it
Legoland
a
is
Where have you
big
been
Lego,
living?
like a
Under a
big
stupid rock? Legoland is the land of Legos. They make life-size constructions. I'm sorry, that was a quote from something. I'm not calling you stupid. You're a very intelligent, remarkably intelligent.
right over
person.
my head? Yeah.
just so you know, that quote is from a commercial that is scandalous against Ricks out there. So I take offense. But
Oh,
it's
I'm
like,
sorry.
what is your name, Rick? And you live under a rock or something like
I
that?
always do
Yeah.
some.
mean, I wouldn't
We
blame
did,
you.
however, talk about like church hymns in which you can just insert the word Rick Grace into. It happened to me the other day. We're singing a song. What was it? I sang this to you in Slack the other day, Rick.
Was it like keep your heart full of Rick Grace?
It was
I don't remember. Yeah.
something about with thy rich grace.
Yeah.
Fill us with thy rich grace. And I literally started belly laughing in church
Nice.
because I saw the words Rick Grace on the page, and
Oh,
I just almost fell in the floor laughing. It was
Yep.
embarrassing for everybody.
Nice.
So thank you, Rick.
I try to make worship about me whenever I can, so just kidding. Just
Interesting.
kidding.
Yeah,
Great.
just gonna dodge the sacrilege there with this beautiful picture I just discovered of Trioculus frozen in carbonite. So
That's the
thank you,
best thing you've
Freddie.
ever seen.
That is a sentence too, right there. Like that is probably the most Star
man.
Wars thing I've ever heard.
Thank you, Freddie, for pointing out the fact that there are interior illustrations, and we cannot move on from this segment without highlighting the fact that the CEO himself, Corey Helton, right before we went live on this show, said, "I've got a recent acquisition. I just bought a breathalyzer on Amazon." These, and then he was like, "I also bought scalpels, but then I returned them because I guess they have to be sterile." And wow, what a recent acquisition that would be. However, let us know in the comments, what is a better acquisition: Zorba the Hutt's Revenge, Andrew's Tattoo, or the breathalyzer? And scalpels?
I have something that might beat all of those things.
Oh,
though.
what'd you get, Freddie?
I'm not sure. I might accidentally blow everybody out of the water here. And I'm not sure I'm ready to do it yet. It's one of those things. I'm like, I've got a few days. There might be some podcasts, but I'm gonna do it, man. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna reach back here. I'm gonna make this last as long as I can. I'm gonna reach back here and grab one of these little ornaments, if you will.
Freddie, I'm hoping that you and I have the exact same ornament to show off.
Okay. I'm not sure it's gonna be the same. If it is, I will be very surprised. Let me know when you're ready, because I'm ready. I've got it here sitting in my hand.
3, 2, 1. Boba Fett. Nope. Yours is better.
What?
That is
What?
glorious.
That's
Freddie,
awesome.
Look at
if
that.
you are an audio listener, Freddie is currently holding up a 1-inch tall Crucit Bakura Christmas ornament. I am not kidding.
But just wait.
And Heir to the Empire. I am flabbergasted. Genuinely flabbergasted.
I have more. There's quite a series of books up here. I'm just showing you 3 of them. Then we have this one here.
Where?
But check this out. It's signed by George Lucas from the original book, I guess.
Wow.
Book cover.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm impressed. All right, what's the story on these? How'd you get this?
Yes.
Well, a little elf came into my house and was like, "You like Star Wars books, right? What if I made you some ornaments?" And I was like, "Oh, that's interesting. What does that mean?" And then here they are sitting on this tree, and I look at them, and these are amazing. Honestly, I can't get over how great they are. I mean,
I'm
they
astounded.
look and feel just like a tiny little Legends book. They've got the whole book cover. I mean, you can read it too. It's totally legible.
Is it a
Maybe
first
not on
edition?
camera. This is definitely first edition. But it's almost like Rick Moranis came into my house and zapped all my books.
Yeah, it is like that. That is like that.
Honey, I Shrunk the Legends.
Yeah.
We got to get those on utini.gifts, don't we?
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure they're going to be
new-
showing up on Etsy pretty soon.
Okay. Well, that would be, maybe we can get a link for it. A new project that we've got going on the site to let's try this again. Utini got gifts is what I said, which we do. Utini.gifts. So you can do all of your holiday shopping of Star
New
Wars
slogan.
products.
Utini got gifts at utini.gifts.
It's not the worst thing I've ever heard.
That should be a jingle.
Hey, Corey, there you go.
Yeah.
I went out on Black Friday with my little brother and sister-in-law, 14, 15 years old, and both my kids to get them out of the house. My wife's recovering from surgery. I don't do Black Friday ever, but I had to get Boba Fett sitting in his chair Christmas ornament. We waited in line for a half hour to get this bad boy. And we made friends and had a merry time all around. and
Every
it is
time
so
it's
heavy that
Hmm.
it cannot even fit on my Christmas tree.
That's
had.
amazing.
Oh no.
Is that a double brancher?
I'm doing an all Star Wars tree this year. We're not doing a traditional, like a massive tree because we're moving, but I got a black tree full of just Star Wars ornaments. So it's like kind of a starscape, and Boba Fett ruined it. Totally ruined it. Cannot fit. But
I love
what
that
can
we've
you
got
fit?
the Star Wars tree theme going on here, though.
It's
Tiny
a lot
little
of fun.
trees, you know.
Yeah. What's a lot of fun, of course, is that you can fill your holiday tree or menorah, or hey, whatever, with whatever gifts you want with Utini.gifts. So, Rick, without further ado, let's hit that ad and show the good folks what they can get on Utini got gifts. Utini.gifts.
Okay, so I had one more acquisition, which is why I mysteriously raptured earlier. Because that would have been awkward if among the holy men in this podcast, like I was the one who raptured and y'all weren't. So that's not what it
That's
was.
fair.
I went to go get another acquisition. So you guys are still good as far as I know.
Is it Yoda in the Santa hat there? Because he's
it's
kind of
not-
freaking me out.
It's not. Yoda's freaking you out?
Yeah,
Look
it's
at the
got a dead stare like Depa Balaba on Shatter
Look at
Point.
the- look at
Stop
the
it.
wisdom.
No, Andrew.
Look at the wisdom.
Stop.
I can't stop staring.
Anyways, so so I went to get the tattoo and I got this acquisition last week, and I didn't even like put the two together that they literally go perfectly together. But I got this, and you can hear it, this Rogue Squadron bomber jacket.
You got
Oh,
it.
you did.
I got it.
You got it.
Whoa.
So I got the Rogue
Glorious.
Squadron bomber jacket. It's got all the patches.
Oh my
got-
gosh.
It's glorious patch.
Oh, dude.
But I didn't even realize it until I was like, after I got done getting the tattoo last night, it literally almost matches perfectly.
Oh my goodness.
Like,
Oh,
look
wow.
at that.
Like color
Yeah.
wise?
Yeah, color wise. And then it's also got the similar, which is Rogue Squadron, but it's kind of got the Alphabet Squadron triangle.
Mhm.
See, this is much more legendsy. I like this. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, it's
You
definitely
are-
legendsy.
You can stay on the show for the rest of the
Yeah.
episode.
It says Rogue Squadron and Arabash.
Yeah. Or Besh, yeah, the one.
I like the exotic way that you said it, Arabash. Very nice. Very
So-
nice.
Is it a bad idea to sneak into a law enforcement officer's house and take his bomber jacket, asking for a friend?
Well,
Well, I
for
would
you to
inherit
do
your
it,
Star Wars books collection.
I was gonna say for you it'd be a very bad idea because, like, speaking of me being a law enforcement officer, I was thinking earlier, if Rick dies this week, we have a list of suspects that literally includes everybody in the stream and everybody in the chat trying to get their hands on some Star Wars. merch.
Especially the patrons. They're
Yeah,
they're-
especially the patrons. You got to keep your
It's
eye
a
on them.
Legendsy murder mystery. You didn't know that this was the backdoor murder mystery podcast, did you?
It was Corey with the lightsaber lamp at the Utini offices.
With
There
a
you
BAC
go.
of about 1.
Oh man,
Uh.
amazing.
Oh,
Well,
my goodness.
that's anybody. Last call. Recent acquisitions. Everybody good? Everybody good? My whole collection is getting boxed up. I caught my mother-in-law in here the other day thinking about boxing up my books, and I was like, no, leave them. I've got a couple more shows to do before. However, I do have my stormtroopers over my shoulder, hiding the fact that there's just a ton of boxes back there. Just a ton of
Mm.
boxes. You know what else is going to go great in a box eventually in 8 months when it finally ships? The Knights of the Old Republic Limited Run Master Edition. We talked about this on our last episode. Pre-orders are now officially live. They will run through January 2nd. And Andrew, as one of our resident Knights of the Old Republic super fans, tell us, how excited are you about this bad boy?
Oh, when you asked me earlier if I was a big fan of Knights of the Old Republic, I assumed that you meant the video game.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm very excited. For a split second, I was like, "Oh, is he talking about the comic?" Because I've literally
We did
read
the
30
comic.
pages.
Been there,
Okay,
done
yeah.
that. We spent 4 episodes on it. We're good.
Literally, I am a sucker for anything Knights of the Old Republic. Like, I try to show control when it comes to impulse purchases, but like Revan or any other character Black Series, like I'm buying it. I've got the Bastila Black Series. I've got the Revan one pre-ordered. I literally got a PS5 just knowing that I was going to need one for the KOTOR remake. So like, I'm pretty pumped.
In perfect Knights of the Old Republic fashion, we had some meat bag causing some stream lag issues, but HK47 took them out and you can take them out in 6 to 8 months on your Nintendo Switch if you pre-order the Knights of the Old Republic limited run Master Edition, like Andrew will. And hopefully I will. Depends on when I get the money from the sale in my house. Hopefully it's before January 2nd, because I've got a video game to buy, people. Come on, get with it. You know what else we've got to get with this game that we're going to play tonight? We're going to sort this out into a handful of categories. We are playing Legends, Fact, or Fiction. I'm going to be your host for this evening. I feel like I need to be wearing a bow tie in order to pull this off, or like a purple vest, like a game show host.
Oh yeah, has to be purple.
Yeah. Very specific.
That's how you know you're a game show host. You have a purple vest.
Purple vest.
So we did this with our character, our host introductions a number of weeks ago, and we decided we would do it for all of the Legends universe. Tonight, we're going to go down through the list on characters, ships, creatures, and behind the scenes. I will give you guys any kind of like a pick. Like, so I'm going to start off with Freddie. You're going to be up first. We've been doing this show for 2 years together. I would start us off strong, Freddie. Get us a dub on the board here with the old school Legends guys. Please, but you can choose your categories. This is the way it's going to work. You can choose characters, ships, creatures, or behind the scenes. You're going to get a question. I'm going to give you multiple choice on 2 truths and a lie, right? No, other way around. One thing is true. So 2 truths and a lie, but I messed it up.
That was one of the lies.
Choice.
Yes,
I win.
That's right. Andrew wins. Good night, guys. Thanks for listening to Legends Lookback. And then at the end of the day, I'm going to be keeping score with pen and paper here, old fashioned, because all of my windows are taken. I've got phone here and the screen here and the external monitor. All right. So good old fashioned way, taking notes here. And the winner will get, I have no idea. So,
hey, I can do a scoreboard on the fly. Are we competing against each other?
Yeah. All four of y'all. I'm not playing. I'm the host.
All right. So the 4 of us got it. I got a scoreboard coming.
Excellent. Very excited about that. I'm going to kick it to Freddie first. Choose your category, Freddie. Characters, ships, creatures, or the other thing that I've already forgotten. Wonderful.
I definitely love my ships. I the second you said ships, I knew that was going to be my my tier for sure.
Okay, so this is your question, Freddie. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Look at that big Millennium Falcon. Gorgeous. All right, here we go, Freddie. Which letter of the alphabet did not have a ship associated with it in Legends? E, K, Q, or V?
Well, I definitely can cancel out the E-wing. I can't remember where the E-wing's from, but I know it. I've seen it somewhere. V-wing I've seen in Rogue Squadron, the video game, especially. Q-wing. I don't recall ever seeing a Q-wing. I'm gonna go with Q-wing on this one as being the lie.
Yeah, it's a little obvious. You are correct, Freddie. However, Q-wings are in Robot Chicken. So it does exist in Star Wars.
What is that? F-level canon?
An adjacent, definitely F-level. Yeah, for sure. E-wings, Freddie, I'm a little disappointed. They're in Dark Empire, man.
Yeah, there you go. Dark Empire. That's what it's from.
So 1 point for Freddie. All right, that was kind of a softball question. No offense to our softball playing listeners. It's a perfectly fine sport. What's a worse sport? It's kind of a golf question.
Whoa.
How about highlight? No, highlight's a little too intense.
What kind of California nonsense is that? I
have never heard of that.
Maybe a bowling question?
Bowling.
That's a little more.
Going back to softball. Yep, buckling down on softball. There it is. Andrew, you're up next. Can you match Freddie? What is your category?
I'm going to give you one guess. On my category.
Nope, I have no idea.
Ships. Okay, it's ships. It's always going to be ships.
Well, the good news for you is bad news for everybody else. I only wrote 2 ships questions.
Boo.
So this category is now exhausted. You're welcome to write your own question, Rick, but some of the other categories have more questions. Here we go. So, Andrew, here's your question about ships. What are Uglies? The original band name for the Max Rebo band. Kit-bashed starships from leftover mismatched parts. Wow, try saying that 5 times fast. Or a low-level crime syndicate from the Coruscant underworld. Notice how only one of those involved ships.
I was going to say,
I think I can
I'm trying to find the truth, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, the
right.
one truth is the one sandwich in the middle. It's the mismatched.
All
yeah.
right. For a bonus point, don't actually give him
Yeah.
any points, Rick.
No.
What?
Oh.
Where do these come up in Legends?
I originally or just generally.
I don't know. Yeah, you just go
Okay,
with
so
it.
I know they're part of the Rogue Squadron comics, the Rogue Squadron comics, but I'm assuming they originated in the Rogue Squadron novels.
Yeah, Freddie, correct me if I'm wrong here. I remember them being in the Wraith Squadron books. Are they in the Rogue Squadron books too?
They're in Rogue Squadron. They're I think in iJedi they mention it.
Mm-hmm.
Assault on Salonia for sure. I know that.
Been rereading
Well,
that.
Didn't the Rogue Squadron comics predate the novels though?
No,
Yes.
they were
No,
published
no.
concurrently.
Concurrently, that's right. That's right.
Oh,
But,
gotcha. Because I know you like visually you can see the uglies in the trade paperback Rogue Squadron Masquerade because that's the one I
Yeah.
had growing up, and I read it over and over and over, and I distinctly remember seeing TIE fighters with Y-wing, whatever they're called, wings.
No, I think we've got
Yep.
an image of one of
A
these.
white tie.
A white tie, yeah.
Emily, does it sound like we're making this up?
A little
The fact
bit,
that you
a
could
little
have
bit.
like TIE fighter with Y-wing nubbins.
I mean,
Nubbins.
honestly, like not much surprises me with Legends. So like I truly do trust y'all. Like that seems totally reasonable. But there are a lot of times on this show when I just think that can't be real. You
Well, this
guys are
is. It's real in our fictional universe, okay?
They're real and
Okay.
they're fantastic.
Totally real. Rick, do you have the picture of the ugly that I've queued up for us? This is one of my very favorite ugly images that I found on the internet, in the sense that it's an X-wing cockpit sandwiched between, it literally like a sandwich between the wings of a TIE fighter. And there it is. Look at this.
Ooh.
Wow.
Isn't it the most awkward thing you've
I
ever seen in
love
your
it.
life? You love it, Andrew?
Yeah, I love it. I love everything about it.
What
was
do you
never-
love about this?
Well, I was the person who growing up always preferred mutts to pure breed. So
Gotcha. It's an Alabama thing.
well done.
I understand.
Look,
Wonderful.
I'm appreciative that you made an Alabama joke with the word breed in it, and it wasn't the traditional Alabama joke. So thank you for that.
I did make a joke today that when we moved to Arkansas, we're leaving all of our shoes here in Massachusetts and our teeth. And our teeth.
And your teeth.
That's right. No
And
teeth,
your
no
teeth.
shoes required. You know, like some businesses have a no shoes, no shirt, no service.
Yeah.
You know, in Arkansas, it's literally no shoes, no shirt. Like that is the rule. You can't come in unless you have no shoes or
Pig
no
suey.
shirt. Now, I do have to apologize to you, Rick, for exhausting the ships category. I forgot you're a big ships fanboy.
Yeah, man. Not that I would be good at legend ships, apparently, but man.
What is your favorite, just for fun, what's your favorite ship in the Star Wars universe? Is it Jaina and Zek or Jaina and Zag? Jag Phil.
Say what? I was thinking what?
I went for a different kind of ship.
Oh,
Like a relationship,
Oh,
right?
I gotcha. Yeah.
Oh, I get it now.
You're
Gosh,
welcome.
That's funny.
that was a good one.
That was cute.
I was way overthinking it. I was deep diving into. I can't do favorites
know.
in the ship, so I was like,
Well, Rick ruined it by saying, what?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I've always been partial to the Devastator.
Yeah,
I like
Yes.
that
they're
Darth
not
Vader's like,
elegant.
I want a Star Destroyer, but really, really long.
Yeah.
Really long.
Yeah.
Like a foot-long meatball sub, but make it a starship. All right. Who is up next? Rick, it's you. What's your
It
category?
is me. I don't
Can't be
know.
ships.
Oh gosh. Let's see. Let's go. I don't know. You pick for me. Make it a surprise.
Characters. Here we go. Who was a villain in the classic Droids cartoon, the old school 80s Droids cartoon, which we did an episode. Freddie, didn't we do an episode about these things?
We did, yeah, we did. We covered some of we went over the music and just the nostalgia of all the cartoons, and
The
of
music
course
is the best part. And then
Yeah,
after that, you know,
definitely.
might as well just switch it on over to something else. But, you know, hey, this is the question. Did you watch the show? Who was a
Hmm.
villain in Droids? A, Kybo Ren. B, Yabba the Hutt. Or C, Darth Hannah.
Darth Hannah.
Let's see. Oh gosh, I have not seen this yet, so this is
I got him. I think I've got him. I think we're gonna have a zero
Can we-
on the board.
Can we steal an answer for a point?
I did consider that.
no.
Well, let's let him guess it. Let's let him guess it.
Give me a minute.
Can we do like a phone the audience and the audience being like one of us?
My dad was legit a phone a friend for somebody on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
What?
Yeah. I remember we sat in his office for 8 hours waiting on that phone call. It was like we blocked out the whole day.
Nice. Oh man, I got no clue.
You know that one of these is fake.
Yes, I do know that.
All right. So it's a
Jordana.
50-50. Andrew is dying to answer your question.
All right,
'Cause
Andrew,
I've got a fun anecdote for how I discovered this.
Okay.
help me out.
Okay, I don't even need the point. I just want everybody to know that I know.
He just wants to
That's-
talk about
I just
legends.
want complete
That's why he's on the
undivided
podcast.
In and of itself, Kaibo Rin.
Uh-huh.
And the way I discovered this was because when I was Trevor's U.S. Mailing bank, where he would buy things in the U.S., like all these books, he would get them sent to my house before I sent him a big package overseas with them all collected, so it would save him on shipping costs.
Oh yeah.
But he had a Droids Adventure book, and I was flipping through it, and I saw Kaibo Ren, Kybororen, and I'm like, Kaibo Ren? Like, is that the only amount of legends that J.J. Abrams paid attention to when doing Force Awakens? Was he was just like, I like this name. Let's just change it up. It's like the meme. It's like, can I copy your homework? Sure, just change it up a little bit so nobody knows I copied you.
Yeah.
Kylo Ren.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, nobody will notice, right?
That's crazy.
There's no way it's a coincidence.
It
But
can't be.
what a weird character to like.
Yeah, he's like this weird space pirate.
Yeah, he's kind of schleppy though. Gotta love him. Gotta love him.
Schleppy.
Literally the only word you could use to describe
Nope.
him.
Freddie's already tried. Emily, you're up next. All right.
Whew.
Can you leave Rick behind as the only one scoreless through round one? What is your category?
Creatures.
All right, creatures. I am trying to rack my brain for what my creatures questions are. Better yet, let's just look. All right, here we go. There is an iconic picture in the Legends universe of Han punching a creature. Here's the question. It's a double question. If you get both answers correct, you get 3 points. All right. So
What?
you get an extra point for getting them both right. Are you with me?
So I have to answer 2 questions.
Yeah, it's a double. Right.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
What's the second question?
The first question, right. So here's the question. What is the creature that Han punches? And then B, why did he punch it? All right.
Oh,
Here's
no.
the multiple choice portion. Okay. A, is it a pterodactyl? B, an Ewok? Or 3, an otter? A pterodactyl, an Ewok, or an otter?
It's an Ewok, right?
That is incorrect. No points
It's not.
for you.
It's the otter.
It's an otter. All right.
Dang
Andrew wants
it.
to say something, but first,
No.
it's
She
a
got
trick
it.
question. It's not actually an otter,
That's what I thought. I was like, that's not even okay.
but it's also not an Ewok. So you still don't get the point. Freddie, it's kind of mean to punk her in this way, isn't it?
I think so. I mean, I feel like Andrew's just dying to say something though.
No. It was just I had the visual in my head.
Of him
And-
punching an Ewok.
It's
No, an otter.
it's an
Oh, an
image.
otter.
You wouldn't
much akin-
punch an Ewok. You would punt an Ewok.
Oh, okay.
Baxter in
I-
Anchorman, just like right over the bridge.
I consider this picture the Legends equivalent to Captain America punching Adolf Hitler in the face, right? But it's neither Captain America nor Adolf Hitler. It is, as we can see here, Han Solo punching an otter right under its necklace. That's right. There it is. Emily, is this the most glorious thing you've ever seen? Do you just want to hang it
I've
up in your
seen
house?
it before.
And
I-
have you really?
Yes, because I looked it up the last time it came up, and I was like, oh, for sure, I know it was an Ewok. I had it in my head because I was like, an otter isn't in like you have to use the actual name. I feel like that's not fair because like an otter isn't in Star Wars. That's
All right,
just
let
us
your
know.
interpretation. It's not
Does-
the actual name.
Does Emily have a point here? Does she deserve a second go at it? Should I give her another question? It's all right. Bonus points. What's the creature? Do you know what it's called?
No, obviously. I
No,
guessed it
but
was an Ewok.
make up a guess. Make up a guess because I'm curious now.
Ugh.
I can feel her wrath. It's getting hot over here in my Star Wars room.
Transference. I don't know.
Transference.
We'll
Can
save
I
you.
phone a friend?
We'll save you. We'll save you. Yeah, Skooma Joe
You can
here in the chat
call
says,
Jared's dad.
Skooma, help me.
My
Dracula's
dad
the
would not know
Solonian.
what we're talking about. He would be so mad. Skooma Joe said he just read the Corellian trilogy not long ago, and this is Dracomus, the Solonian. So the Corellian system has 5 planets. Corellia is one of them, but then Salonia is one of them, and it's full of these big
like
humanoid otters
Yeah.
known as Solonians.
like
Dracomus
the
is
pride of Salonia.
That's right. Dracomus is what the lowest scumbag of them all. They have a disagreement over food. I think I don't remember. It's
Something
been
like that.
20 years since I read
Yeah.
these. I'm looking to see, Freddie, if this image is in the Essential Reader's Companion. I think it is.
I don't know if I've seen it, but if I were Pablo Hidalgo, I would put that image in that book, hands down.
It is, and you can fight me. I've said that twice now in this episode. It's getting violent.
He really wants
we
to
already
fight
killed
today.
Rick.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say, I feel like you and Rick should just fight at this point.
to the death.
Let's go, Rick. On a catwalk because it's Star Wars, right?
I like it.
I think this is the greatest image in the history of Star Wars Legends. What could possibly compete? Shirtless Sabayoth? Give me a break. All
Han
right,
punching
so
a Solonian.
Ruins of
Yes.
Dantooine cover.
The best? All right.
Ruins of Dance.
Rick, do you have the button that boots Andrew off the call?
Sure. Let me just.
You know, the Ruins of Dantooine. Ruins of Dantooine cover. I'm almost positive they just took that straight from Star Wars Galaxies as a snapshot, and that's it.
I think you're
I don't
right.
know.
So
I don't know if
So
they did any
basically-
work on that.
it's a
think you're
trend
right.
that has continued in modern Star Wars book covers, I've noticed. That's as much as I'm going to say about that.
Now we've got some insight here from Skooma Joe. He says Dracomus and Han were, and I read up on all of this so that I would be fresh for the podcast, and it's all just vanished from my brain. But thank you to our buddy Skooma Joe. He says Dracomus and Han were pretend fighting to appease Thraken, of Thraken's thrift store fame, right? Thraken's Sal Solo. He pitted them against each other, but they did not want to hurt each other. So it's all a ruse. Very fun. Very fun. Now, what's the consensus in the chat? Does Emily deserve another question since it was a trick question? What do you think, Emily? Do you want another question?
Depends.
I think she's
Here we
so
go.
mad at you,
I
Jared.
feel like you already gave me my 2 questions. You're like, oh, what's multiple choice, and then name that creature, and then why they were fighting, right? Wasn't
we
that
go.
the second
We're
question?
going to queue up another creature's question for you, a fair one. The last
Thank
question
you,
in
Skooma
round
Joe.
1.
She's just Skooma's on my side.
She
She deserves another go.
It was a bit of a trick question, I'll admit. We got to have some fun. I can't just write questions and not throw in a trick question.
Well,
right,
it's
here we go.
unfair for me.
Yeah, that's the whole point. I tried to
Oh,
write
fun.
questions
Okay.
that, for the most part, you shouldn't know the answer to.
Okay.
Anybody. Yeah, these are weird. All right, here we go. And this is
Thank
the
you,
fun
Caleb.
of Legends, right? This is the fun. It gets odd. It gets really awkward, such as this one. Are you ready? Which species of aliens are hermaphroditic in Legends?
Oh
A,
my gosh.
You can
Huts.
use me as a lifeline.
B, Cathhounds. Or C, Solonians. The otters that we just talked about. Is it Solonians, Cathhounds, or Huts? Solonians are the otters from the Corellian trilogy. Cathhounds are the dogs that you have to hack with your lightsaber on Dantooine and KOTOR. And Huts, they're slugs.
Huts.
Some of them have beards. Huts.
Yep.
Freddie, is she correct?
She's correct.
Yes.
That is
I just
right.
want to say thank you to Skooma Joe and to Caleb for believing in me. I feel like I really deserved that second chance. Hope I did you proud. Yeah, I had
There
to
we
look
go.
it up one day. My husband was like, I'm sorry, how do they have babies? We were like, I don't know. So we had to look it up.
they can, in Legends, and I don't think this has been carried over into canon. And
No, they changed
it's
it
a
in
dang
canon.
shame, right? They can choose their gender willy-nilly and for reproductive purposes.
Yeah, and it was supposed
before
to
this
be
gets any
like
more
a worm.
awkward, I'm going to pitch it to Freddie. What you got?
Yeah. Huts were written to be similar to worms, like an evolved worm. And worms have both organs, so that's exactly what they did with the Huts. And I'll never forget the first time I read the word Huts were hermaphroditic. I was like, what does that mean? Mind you, this is me, younger version of me, and I'm reading what this means. I'm like, oh, that's
Good
what
plug.
that is.
Good plug for our Discord, Han Solo Crispin, Han Solo. What is it? The AC Crispin Han Solo trilogy book club. The Hut Gambit is what I'm reading right now, and it's got some of this stuff in there, and it
Let
just
me
goes
finish that one.
really hard into the Hut hermaphroditic stuff. It just she really leans into it.
Yeah.
I think I have a diagram to demonstrate some of this. Let me pull it up real quick and we can take a look at all of that.
And thank you for joining us for Legends
All
Look
right.
Back. That does it for this week. All right, here we go. Freddie, you're going to lead us
episode
off.
of Hut nomenclature.
Freddie is leading off round 2. The scores after round 1. Emma. Here we go. Freddie,
We
Emily,
left
and
Rick in the
Andrew
dust.
Yeah,
are
thanks,
tied
guys.
with 1 apiece.
Rick's
Rick
dead.
is
He's really got a
trailing.
do-over.
Rick is trailing,
I
but
know.
as we saw,
Sorry, Rick.
there are some trick questions thrown in, as are double questions. So here we go. Freddie is up in round 2. What is your category?
Let's see. Let's do it behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes question for Freddie. Haven't had any of these so far. Here we go. Which character was named as Ben Kenobi's brother in the Return of the Jedi novelization? Bib Fortuna, Owen Lars, or Jim Kenobi?
Yeah, this one's great. I'll never forget when the first moment of wait, Star Wars is not always in line with itself, was this moment, and that would be Owen Lars.
Tewanga. No, it is Bib Fortuna.
Bib Fortuna.
I'm kidding. No, it is Owen Lars. That's right. But I just had to say
Owen Lars.
Tewanga. I mean,
So
do you want to?
there's a book that I had that was like a source book. It was like the very first one they ever came out with, and you could tell they used like a gardening hose for like a Gadurfi stick. Like it was very crude. It's like one of those things you'd put at the end of the gardening hose that would just like splash the water everywhere. It's like a green little thing.
In Arkansas,
and-
you just use your thumb. So I don't know.
Yeah,
Or your
exactly.
toe, you know.
Is that
And,
why they call it a green thumb?
And I was reading it and I was like, Owen Lars. And this was by the time that we knew Owen Lars was definitely not Kenobi's relative at all. He was, in the care of baby Luke. And that's when I read the book again, and it was like, oh, Owen Lars is Ben Kenobi's brother. And just going back into that, looking at all of the old stuff, they clearly didn't know what they were doing yet. And so, a lot of people speculate of George having a clear idea of everything. Definitely not the case.
All right. In defense of this odd miscontinuity plot point, Freddie, when you watch A New Hope, it would make sense, wouldn't it? Based on his reaction when Luke is like, do you think he means old Ben Kenobi? Right? Old Ben Kenobi. And then Owen Lars is all grumpy, like, stay away from that old crazy wizard. That's something you would say about your brother who's gone off the deep end, is it not?
Totally. Estranged brother, right?
That's right.
He's on the other political spectrum of the family, possibly.
Oh, yeah. He voted for Palpatine. Definitely not hanging out with that loser.
That wizard.
Absolutely. Okay, so he is now up to, I feel like Freddie's had 2 easy questions. We got to save the most difficult question for him at the very end of the episode. I'm going to try to hang on to this one. Andrew, you are up next. What's your category? Behind the scenes, creatures, or characters?
Characters.
Characters. Okay, here we go. What inanimate object does Luke fall in love with in Legends? This is a bit of a trick question. Not the most tricky question, but a bit of a one. All right, here we go. A portrait of a Zeltron. B, a computer. 3, a starship. Or D, a lightsaber.
B.
A portrait of a
computer.
Zeltron. All right, you say a computer?
Yes.
That is both partially correct and incorrect. Because it is a computer embedded in a starship. It is both B
I'm
and C.
sorry.
Yeah, Emily's like,
What?
I knew that one.
This is when I'm thinking you're making it up. Why he falls in love with a computer
But
on a
isn't-
starship.
Right.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
So
Right.
it's like her and Interstellar, like
Correct.
just like did okay.
Absolutely.
Did you just make
This
a
is
her
Legends.
reference on Legends Lookback?
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Mhm.
I
It
wasn't
happened.
expecting that.
Bonus points, Andrew. What is this starship computer girlfriend's name?
Kalista.
Bing, 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 bing. Andrew wins the game.
Wow.
Wins the game.
It's a ship. Andrew knows everything about ships, period.
Yeah. When it ties back. Well, and that's why.
Look at the score skyrocketing. Callista, our buddies over at the Star Wars Archives did a whole episode for Valentine's Day, which is now
Yep.
available to the public, all about Luke's Jedi girlfriends. Luke's Legends, all of Luke's girlfriends in the expanded universe, both canon and Legends. So they talk all about Callista. We've not done a lot about Callista, have we yet, Freddie?
I don't think so. I don't think we've talked about it at all, honestly. If we did, it might have been in passing.
You're quite the ladies' man, Freddie. Have you ever fallen in love with the computer starship Ghost?
Oh, all the time.
Is that the one when you broke up the two girls who were like both in love with you at the same time?
Maybe.
Can't talk about it publicly on here.
I get him confused. It's just hard, you know.
We might have lost you there for that one. What was that?
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yep, but we lost Emily, so we got some bad juju happening here.
Ooh.
Well,
Started talking about
Emily-
relationships.
yeah, I was gonna say she heard us talking about Freddie's love life. And she said, "Peace."
I'm out of here. Absolutely. Well, it was going to be Emily's turn, but we'll pitch it to you, Rick. What is your next category?
Let's see here.
Just a few left. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions remaining. So
Behind
we'll
the
go through
scenes.
3 rounds. All right, here we go. Behind the scenes. Here we go. There is no multiple choice for this unless I can come up with one on the fly. Here we go. Which character had a villainous clone in the Thrawn trilogy instead of Luke? Which character almost had a villainous clone in Timothy Zahn's original idea for the Thrawn trilogy? It obviously, infamously, is Luke. Who was it almost?
So
You can ask for multiple choice, and I can come up with one very quickly.
well, just ask.
You got this.
Answer me this: is this a good character or a antagonist?
Yeah, I'll give you that. It is a hero, a heroic character.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I was. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna say
All right,
Leia.
here we go. Multiple choice. Is it?
See if
Spinning through
Leia's an option to see if that
some
helps me.
options. Leia is an option. Leia is an option. Is it Leia,
Hmm.
Mace Windu,
Hmm.
or Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Yeah, Leia.
The-
Leia's my choice.
That is incorrect. It is
Really?
Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's right.
He was gonna
And
bring
his clone
back
name was
Obi-Wan.
Ooby Dooby Kenobi. Just kidding.
It was Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah. I did not know that. That's interesting.
See, that would track from a storytelling standpoint because the entire trilogy starts with Luke, you talking to Obi-Wan and it being their last communication. And so to
Yes.
circle back around to him having to fight Obi-Wan, that would be like poetry. It would rhyme.
In the 20th anniversary edition of Heir to the Empire, which very fun, I only recently discovered actually has the artwork in black and white on the actual book. I've had this thing
Nice.
for 10 years and I had no idea.
Yeah,
Isn't that
right.
sick? And anyway, in this, there's margin notes, and Timothy Zahn describes this process and how he was trying to do Obi-Wan Kenobi, and then Lucasfilm vetoed it. That's also available as an audiobook. Timothy Zahn actually gives like 2 or 3 hours of commentary on the production of Heir to the Empire, and he's like, I really wanted to bring back Obi-Wan Kenobi. I'm not going to do my Timothy Zahn impression. Eric's got a great one, though. It's a whole thing, and it's amazing.
Nice.
And it's one of my very favorite Legends fun facts, and I'm glad we finally got to it. However, now it's time we get to Emily's second round question. What is your category, Emily? Behind the scenes, characters, or creatures?
I'm gonna go with creatures again.
Creatures again. Here we go. All right.
Yes.
Last creatures question. This is a tough one. I will admit.
Oh, great.
Now, which borderline mythological creatures are featured in the Crystal Star? Werewolves, vampires, or ogres? Now, I'm going to preface this by saying the spelling is different in Legends. It's changed by a couple of letters, but is it werewolves, vampires, or ogres? Which mythological creature?
Okay.
Borderline
I feel like
mythological
ogres
creatures.
is kind of not a thing. So I'm gonna say no to ogres.
You are correct on that one.
Okay. So down to vampires and werewolves.
That's right. It sounds like
vampires
a bad
really
joke, doesn't it?
realistic. I'm gonna go with werewolves.
That is correct. Good job. Yeah,
Really?
very, and in
Yeah.
Oh,
Legends,
cool.
does
So how do I
anybody
spell it
know?
different?
Does anybody know what they're called in Legends?
Oh, I don't know what they're called.
What, Airwolves?
There's also centaurs, like centaur-ish creatures
That is
in there
correct.
too.
Yeah, right. They're called werewolves with a Y.
What?
Oh, I knew about that actually.
They
Hey,
kidnap Jason
have
and
a
Jaina
quick-
Solo, right?
I have a quick question.
Yes.
Did y'all ever play Monopoly growing up?
Yes.
Did you know, was there one member of the family you could never let them be the banker because they would occasionally slide cash into their pool?
Do you have a point,
Oh, that's
Andrew?
nice.
Yeah, my
Why?
point is that I think Rick's weighing the scales a little unevenly right now.
What are you talking about? Nothing to see here. Move along.
Rick, do you have a death wish?
I mean,
He really wants to get Jared those books.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I would love them. He just got some great ones. He's got the
Look.
like hardcovers of the Dark Forces trilogy.
I grew
You
up
get
with three
Star Trek.
brothers. I grew up with three brothers, so my fatal flaw is I'm overly competitive. Okay, this means a lot to me. Is it sad? Yes, that's very sad.
Oh,
But it's
dude.
who I am.
It is part of why you are on this episode. I know that you are ultra competitive.
Nice.
And yeah, WYRWULF. That's right. Werewolves. It's also widely regarded as one of the very worst Legends books. This is famously one that I have yet to touch.
Yeah.
I've saved it for the end. Kind of like, when you save your peas for the last thing at dinner.
Now, what do you mean by end? Do you mean like the end of your life or the end of your reading? Like,
This is a violent
Wow,
episode.
this is
It really-
we're really going there.
What would happen if a bunch of nihilists gathered for a Star Wars podcast tonight?
On Legends Lookback.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. I actually had a 3-hour discussion this morning about hope. So
That's
threw
good.
that out the window in a hurry. So that's right. Here we are, werewolves. They're in the Crystal Star. For the end of my Legends reading experience, that's I've got like a dozen left. So we're
Did they
getting there.
go to Kersey Station? We're being asked in the chat.
Oh,
How
for
do you
Crystal
say
Star?
that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I couldn't weigh in on that one. This is one that I have waited.
Has anybody here read it?
Not me.
I've read it, but it's been a long time. I can't remember the station's name.
I think I did the unabridged. I think I did the abridged audiobook as a kid. That's as far as I got with this one. But in the research that I did in preparation for this episode, I'll look it up. We'll do some research. All right, here we go. Round 3 leading into it. We are tied 2-2 with Freddie, Andrew, and Emily. Rick is kind of just waiting for the Hail Mary at this point.
I feel like I'm gonna give Rick my turn here. I feel like he needs a couple points on this board.
I'm just hoping for a double or nothing. That's what I keep waiting
Yes.
for. Where's that daily double?
In honor of Christmas.
So
It
I'm
was
saving
very
the
holly
hardest
and jolly
question
of
for
you.
Freddie at the end. And if you're taking Freddie's turn, that's this one. Do you
What?
want it? Do
It's
you want
not
it, Rick?
the end. The end
This
is
the
not
last
near.
round. Yeah, it's the last round. Here we go.
Rick-
You're taking
Rick,
Freddie's
who's been-
question.
We've been talking about Rick dying all night, and now he's having to reiterate.
Oh man.
Is remaining. Freddie's skipping his last turn. You're up, Rick. Here it is.
All right.
Which other classic film series did Star Wars cross over with in the comic Star Wars Tales number 19? Is it A, Star Trek, B,
Oh.
Indiana Jones, or C, Transformers?
Okay, so Star Wars Tales 19.
Correct.
Yes.
Can
This
you
is
give
the
me
series
a
that famously featured Skippy the Jedi droid, Andrew's favorite comic?
nice?
Rick, do you want a hint? Man, I this one
I think I know, but
What are you
like
guys
I'm
tag teaming this?
starting to question myself.
No, don't question yourself. I'll give you one hint.
Go for it.
Can you do that elimination thing?
We could possibly do an elimination thing. I'll just give one word. I'm not even gonna say what the word means. Hat.
Mm-hmm. Indiana Jones.
You're both disqualified. It's now between Andrew and Emily, even though I already said Andrew won. It is Indiana Jones. That's right. So Han Solo comes upon. No, is it the other way around? Yeah.
Yeah, Han Solo comes upon Indiana, and I believe it's like basically an unsaid thing in Legends that Indiana Jones is a descendant of Han Solo or something like that.
It sounds right.
Yeah.
It sounds right.
What
It's a bit on the
in the
nose.
world?
And
Honestly,
they are
pick it up.
non-canonical even for our non-canonical universe.
Yeah.
We did
It's
an episode
definitely
all
worth a
about
read.
Star Wars tales way back in the day.
So am I on the board now?
No,
That was 2 points.
DQ'd for that. DQ'd. All right, here we go. Andrew has already won, so we'll go to Emily next. Here we go. Emily, what? No, you got total chance to win here. Or like if you get this right and Andrew gets it right, we're going to come up with one more question for the tiebreaker. Here we go. Behind the scenes or characters. Behind the scenes or characters. These are our last two categories.
Characters.
Characters for 500. Here it is. Which descendant of a Star Wars villain had a Cyclops for a rival? Dooku, Maul, Palpatine, or Tarkin? Which I've worded the question wrong. Let's try it again. Which Star Wars villain's descendant had a Cyclops for a rival? So out of
So
these
not
four,
these villains, but their descendants.
correct.
Rival.
Right. Yep. As their arch nemesis is a Cyclops.
And the choices were
Dooku, Maul, Palpatine, and Tarkin. I'll give you a hint. Here we go. I'm going to show you the picture of said Cyclops.
That would
It's
be
actually a
very helpful.
Triclops. He has three eyes,
Triclops.
and he's frozen in
Cloculus.
carbonite right here. Trioculus.
Trioculus.
Oh my
something.
goodness.
Look at that face.
What a tattoo for the
Merry
butt.
Christmas, everybody. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, you're not gonna forget that in a hurry.
I'm sorry, Emily. Truly, genuinely, from the bottom of my heart.
This is so obscure. Can I pass it to Rick? Can Rick steal?
Rick's
Why not?
Rick,
disqualified.
All of the
That's
rules are out
good.
the window at this point.
I feel like I don't know. Do you have a clue, Rick?
Not a
I'll give you a hint.
clue.
Here's a
Not
hint. Here it
clue?
is.
Okay.
Do you want?
Based on the publication of this book, it's going to rule out a couple of the answers. This book came out in 1992.
And there's also
Okay.
there's another trail to follow, right? If it's a descendant, that implies that one of these characters at one point had to bone. So
I mean, that's not necessarily true. They could be like
There's cloning and
clones or whatever.
adoptive. Yeah, that's
there's like a
true.
lot of options.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's true.
Rey
That's
somehow is
Ugh.
Palpatine's granddaughter.
And
Right.
Palpatine did not bone. That was determined.
Okay. So
Cyclops, frozen in carbonite.
Rick is saving us from this one.
I'm gonna go with Tarkin then.
That
Is
is
it Tarkin?
incorrect. It is Palpatine.
Really?
Right. Palpatine's
Huh.
Palpatine boned.
Palpatine's son. He has smooth parts in Legends. That's canonical.
It is canonical.
Mm.
You broke for the throne.
You broke the internet again, guys. Anytime we talk about relationships, the internet just goes.
Ken Palpatine compete Trioculus versus Ken Palpatine. We still good? Everybody still here? We're
Yeah.
wrestling
But
with the internet a little bit here. What you got, Andrew?
Now I'm wondering with Trioculus, are we sure that Star Wars didn't cross over with Transformers at one point?
Yeah.
Because that
It-
sounds like a Transformer.
Freddie, just for you, I almost put Beast Wars as one
Beast
of our
Wars would have been fantastic.
categories here.
So one thing I do want to clarify is I have you ever had your head canon get mixed up into real canon and then other or Legends, whatever you're reading, to the point where that becomes and Indiana Jones, a descendant thing, a reality. But that's not actually the story. And I was reading the chat, and they were actually giving a summary of the story, and it's totally true. I can't believe I mixed up my own headcanon.
Yes, this is
with-
accurate here from Skooma Joe.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, Han crashes the Falcon on Earth. I'm not going to spoil it if you want to read it, but there's a Bigfoot involved, if you can imagine what that Bigfoot might be. And it's definitely worth a read. It's fun. Andrew wins the game.
Yeah. Yeah. So last question. Do you want to go for it, Andrew? Anybody? Here we go. Better yet, can anybody steal this from Andrew to win the game? Right. So Andrew doesn't get a chance to answer this one. You're just straight up eliminated because you did such a good job with the Callista question. This is for the room. All right. Andrew, oh, here we go. Andrew, you've got a fair shot at answering this. This is how we're going to do the last question. Anybody can answer this. First person to answer wins the game. This is how we're doing it. For all the marbles, whose stories were flipped in the New Jedi Order because George Lucas interfered? Is it Han Solo and Anakin Skywalker, Anakin Solo and Jason Solo, or Jason Solo and Jaina Solo? Whose story arcs were flipped
B.
because George Lucas got mad and made them change it? In
B.
3, 2, 1. Any guesses?
B.
I was definitely going to go with Anakin and Jason before.
Anakin and Jason is Freddie's guess and Andrew's guess. And Rick says C.
Yeah.
Emily, what are we
I'm
going
with
to do?
Rick. I'm
You're
with
with
Rick.
Rick?
At C. Yeah.
Okay. It's now between Andrew and Freddie. Congratulations to you guys for getting this one right.
Wasn't it because George got a little bit ticked that they named a character Anakin?
Yeah, that's right. Uh-huh.
That's what
Yeah.
I thought.
Okay.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
It's the equivalent of when like two cousins name their kid the same name within a couple of weeks of each other.
And you have to kill one of them, right?
Well,
For their books.
Not in places other than Alabama, but maybe I don't know.
what an episode of Legends Lookback. We actually had some
Yeah.
beef. We had some beef in our small church in Arkansas about like, baby names.
Killing. Okay.
No, it was like another family named their baby the name that we were going to use.
Oh yeah.
They
That's a
already knew
thing.
that it's the name that we were going to do. and
That's
it
a
was-
thing. Yeah.
There were
That's better
tears.
that's better than where Emily's mind went.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Just
things,
straight up
This
ignoring
has
which
to
is
go to
where-
a lot of places.
things
That's what I was
escalate.
thinking.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
Jared.
guys-
Jared, this was fun, man. Thanks for having a bunch of questions that I knew nothing about. I'm gonna write you out of my will now. Hope you're happy.
This was, but then I won't have to hire the bounty hunter. Then there won't have to be the bounty hunter war trilogy, and then we'd have to talk about it on the show. But before we get to that, we do have another bounty hunter that we're going to talk about on our next episode of Legends Look Back, and that is none other than Boba Fett himself. Next episode, we've got the Boba Fett Blood Ties Omnibus. It was released just recently, and you can pick up your copy over on utini.com by clicking the Amazon link in the profile. Boba Fett Blood Ties, the Omnibus, just recently released from Marvel Comics. Chronicling the 10-year-old-ish comics series, which just this week in the Legends Look Back Discord channel, somebody described as the best Legends comic of all time. Them's fighting words. I'm excited to really dish on that one. Are they right? I don't know. I haven't made up my mind yet, but it's good. That's for sure. So coming out next Tuesday. It came out a month ago, November 9th. We're talking about it next Thursday night, December 9th, 2021. If you're listening to us in the future, congratulations. And you did it. And also, yeah, this is 2021 that we're talking about here. And we're going to be talking about this next week on Legends Look Back. That does it for this week. We're going to give a special thank you to Andrew Bell, our special guest, for joining us tonight. Thank you to Andrew, and congratulations. Can we crown Andrew the victor on the game? I think probably so, right?
I should make myself.
Yeah. Hey, Andrew, let's will you give us a good face for the thumbnail?
The victor. You can
Yeah.
write that on
Give
your
me
cardboard.
your victory pose. I like it.
Absolutely. It's also totally unfair for the fact that I wrote a New Jedi Order question when Andrew just read the New Jedi Order.
Yeah.
That was
Well,
totally
yeah.
inadvertent.
Second to last book. I'm trying to get it done before the year.
I would say I believe in you, but it's a real bear. It's
I
a real
don't believe in me.
He doesn't believe in himself, but we do. But that does it for this week. Thank you for joining us on Legends Look Back. Thanks especially to our incredible patrons for your amazing support. We love making the show and glad you are along for the ride. Special thank you to Cheryl Bell, Patrick Ortiz, Carl Sander, OK Indar, JG Kars on our Jedi High Council, as well as Elizabeth Cloutier, Jason Missel, Sally and Chris Eilerson, Freddie C, Tyler Latour, Earl Q. This list is getting long. and Matt Billington on our Alliance High Command for your amazing support. Remember, of course, to sub to this channel here on YouTube. Leave us a review in your podcast platform of choice. And of course, if you would like your thoughts read on the air, you can email us at legendslookback. I've totally butchered this. Legendslookback at utini.com. What is it, Freddie? Email? You ever checked email?
You know.
You can send us a message in the Legends Lookback Discord channel, or you can contact us on Twitter. I am at Jared Q Mays. Freddie
At Wake Up Freddy.
Rick,
Rick_Grace.
Emily,
At Darth Daybeck.
Andrew.
No one up, Rick. I'm Andrew_D_Bell. That's an extra underscore.
One more underscore. That's right. And you can find our Legends Lookback Twitter account at one more underscore. No, at Legends Lookback. That's right. If you're looking to buy some of these books and want to help support the show, you can click on your book profile on Eugenie.com. And you can, of course, go on over to Thrift Books, Amazon, eBay. There's all kinds of places to get the books. And, of course, there's a few cents to help keep the lights on. Remember, everybody, keep the Eugenie fan. Go to be a force for positivity in the fandom. Until next week, may the force be with you.
This is a Utini broadcast.